There I am now. I'm in frame. You were wondering where I was and everything. I guess basically the topic of today's show is how does an actor prepare? I mean, there's been a famous book by a famous author that was an acting instructor that is titled An Actor Prepares. You can look it up. It's an excellent book. It's one of the best acting books I've read in my life. And it covers a lot of different topics about acting in different countries, acting in the city versus acting in the country, the different dialects and dialogue that you use in the different locations that you act in. It talks about the physical characteristics of the acting, like back in the day, an actor had to prepare physically when there was a lot of theater work before the movies came into business. The actors really had to do a lot of performance, a lot of singing, a lot of jumping around on stage. In fact, acting probably in some ways was a lot harder than it is now today. So I'm going to cover how does an actor prepare in the morning. Okay, and we'll go back to the night before. Generally, you go over your sides if you're doing a commercial the night before. If you have a rehearsal partner, if you don't, you go through them with yourself in the mirror. And if you're doing a scripted script, you go over that in the night. Just like putting it in your computer, you download it and then you boot it up. So when you wake up, you boot up and you go over your lines again. But there's something that you need to do before your lines that gets you into character, and there are some choices. And this is one of the choices to blast yourself into character. This is another choice to get yourself into character. This is another choice to get yourself into character. And so is this. And there are a few others. Different powders and other things that an actor might do, as we well know. We already know this, to prepare for the shooting day to follow. And I would recommend, even before getting into the script in the morning, I would recommend just preparing. And there's something that I almost left out about part of the preparation, and that is this. This is also part of the preparation for your character. And most actors know this. This is the inside information that I'm giving to you publicly, just out of sheer kindness, to help you become better actors out there. I mean, that's what this is all about, is training. And you're getting it for free. And remember, you get what you pay for, so it's free, right? Okay, I don't need to go into that anymore. So I'm going to start off with this one. This has been my choice for preparing for today's character. This one will get me into the character that I want to get into for shooting today. Now I'm going to kind of dilute it down with a little bit of milk there. And so we're starting on that thing, and then this is gonna this will help me too as well. Oh. So that's it. Now, after you've done that, I would recommend it's time to go into studying your lines and brushing over your lines. If you have a person that you can rehearse with before, that's great. If you don't, you can rehearse in the mirror, help yourself get in the character. Now, there's one note on this form of preparation is if you go overboard, you will go into another character. Now, if that other character is part of the story, then by all means go there. Get fully hammered, you know. But if your character isn't like a full blown out, shall we say, drunk or alcoholic, then you might just want to get a good buzz going. So a good buzz. And I've never had a problem with stage fright other than probably my first time on a live television show, my first three live television shows. I was a little nervous. I got a little nervous and all that. But after that, I had no problem with doing, getting over the stage fright and all that and performing in front of other people. But I just continue to use this to enhance, to get me going in the morning and everything. And you want to be using public transportation. You don't want to drive. I'm not an advocate of doing this and driving. One of the reasons is my very first wife, my sweetheart, my life mate. We went out for 5 years. She played a mean saxophone, and I popped the question, will you marry me? And she's like, yes, I will. I get a call from her mom that, Carolyn's in the hospital and she's on a machine. Do you want to come see her? So I went to the hospital, and her mom asked me, her brainwave function is gone, and she's not probably going to come out of the coma. This is probably the last you're going to see of her. That really hurt. She was driving a Pinot out on a dirt road in Timbuktu, where you don't expect to see anybody. I mean, we're talking way out in the country, just way out away from the city, driving her Pinot. And she wasn't a very good driver to begin with. She shouldn't have been driving at all. But a guy in a pickup truck hit her head on. And the pickup truck hit her head on so hard, it flipped end over end 7 times. Hitting a Pinot. I mean, that's 1,500 pounds versus 8,000 pounds of steel going at, I don't know, they imagined it was probably 60 plus. And that was it for my first wife, so I wouldn't recommend doing this and driving for your acting preparation, ever. get a limousine, take public transportation, you know, do what you gotta do, but don't drive loaded or drunk, even on pot. I don't care if people smoke pot, I think it should be legal. That's another story. I can do the pot story later, but it's really not what you'll do yourself, it's what you'll do to other people, you know. And everybody thinks that they can drive better when they're drunk or high or stoned or loaded, but they've done a whole lot of tests that prove that you can't. So that's it on that. And so those are ways to get into character, but you must do it responsibly. I mean, I've been pretty hammered, and I've been on shows where I was the main camera operator. I wasn't just acting. I started out being a floor director, so you set up mics on people, you do mic checks and all that, help out the grips, do the lighting and everything for studio and all that. I was like camera one, so, and I was good, you know. I did camera one well. I mean, camera one was, you know, the director would say, get a CU on the host as quick as you can, one, and then I was there, and okay, ready, one, take one, boom. Okay, camera two set up for a wide shot of all the guests. Go to two, take two, go to two. You know, okay, one, we want you on the product. Zoom in, get a CU on the product. Ready, one, take one. I mean, I did all that hammered and everything, but I wasn't driving, you know, so. And eventually, one time, I got too hammered for that show to even run the camera. I mean, I was just shaky. I couldn't keep the camera still. And you got to keep the camera still, because if you shake the camera, for an earthquake scene, that's what you want. You want a shaking camera. But if you're in a studio situation, you want a steady camera. So the attention is on the hosts and the guests, not the camera movement, you know. So that's enough of that. But that's basically how an actor prepares. So, and that's how a lot of actors prepare, believe it or not. I mean, I've been in the business, so regardless of the country. That's it on preparing. Thanks for watching.